I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, guys? We are back with the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta After Show Season 9, Episode 3, entitled Oh Dear. And boy, did we have a lot of oh dears this episode. I'm your host, Tyra Crew. We have a jam-packed show for you guys. But of course, I have to introduce my lovely co-host. We actually have someone who has not been here in a while, so we're so excited to have him joining us today. But to the top right, I don't know if you guys can see, we have Elgin. What's up, Elgin?
Hey, what's up? I'm ready to talk this tea.
Yes, and then we have the famous, you may have seen him on Netflix on all of his famous celebrity movies and shows that he's on. We have Alfie here joining us finally for episode 3. How are you? How are you staying safe during this quarantine?
I'm staying busy, being creative, shooting videos and whatnot, cooking, eating at home, watching these shows though.
Watching the shows, doing what we have to do. So we're gonna just get right into it. We're gonna talk about LightskinKeisha and her beef with Bambi, how Chicana is trying to bring them together. Then we got to talk about Rasheeda and her mom and Kirk. What is this beef about her, selling her own clothes in their store? And then of course we have to talk about Karlie and Sierra and their whole beef that they've had from yesterday, from the fight to now. And then we're going to have some news and gossip for you guys, our special segment, predictions if we have time. And so what were you guys' overall thoughts?
You go first.
Okay. I think the episode flowed really good this time around. I still feel like it needs to be spiced up. Like I haven't seen a bottle thrown yet, and that's kind of what I'm still waiting for.
We almost saw it.
We almost there. So we'll see.
That's so funny because Atlanta is so turned up compared to Miami. It's hilarious being on this wave. He's like, they need to turn up. And we like, what? Exciting. I felt like there was cool things in this episode that allow you to, reevaluate your ties and connections with people. I think you learned a lot about family through Rasheeda and Kirk's situation with the mom. But I felt like there was like both sides to every coin on this one. So I could see it I felt like there was 2 perspectives would be the best title of the show because everybody had a side or leg they were standing on, but the opposite also had a pretty strong leg to stand on too.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm with Elgin. I feel like it's been spicy, but it's been not spicy enough. Like when I think of Atlanta, I just think of just all the craziness, but I feel like it's like wholesome crazy, and I'm ready for them to just like get with it. Like we need some more drama, but I don't know what's going on and why it's not coming. But let's just go ahead and start talking about LightskinKeisha. So as we know, she's new to the show. She is an up and coming rapper. She's known in Atlanta for rapping and things like that. And this episode, we got to see a little bit more insight of her and her life. We got to see her and her boyfriend living together. Their YouTube and just, her going really in depth about her life and how she was homeless and just how her and her boyfriend ultimately got together and they're working on marriage, kids, all the whole, 9 yards or whatever you want to call it. But LightskinKeisha cannot catch a break because young Bambi is not messing with her. She just feels like that she doesn't like her. She allegedly stole her friend's boyfriend, and now Chicana is in the mix trying to bring them together. What are you guys thinking about this whole dynamic with LightskinKeisha, Bambi? Like, do you think the beef is pointless, or do they need to just, I don't know, fight it out so they can stop arguing over, pointless things?
Well, I don't think if they fight it out.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I feel like if they fight it out, it's still going to be a lot of beef. But that particular situation, I feel like Bambi has no fighting. Like, yeah, it's your friend, but at the same time, that has nothing to do with you. I feel like if you're worried about somebody else's relationship, then you have enough time to apply that to your own relationship. You shouldn't be trying to actively engage in someone else's relationship when that person that he left, she's probably not even having the same type of energy towards it anyway. So I don't know.
Okay. What about you, Alfie?
I agree. It was a little. I mean, I respect the whole position of wanting to have your friends back, and I mean, in life we go through, especially in this entertainment business, we go through cycles of, oh dang, they together now, or they're together, and these weird circles mix and mingle. So I think it was going out of her way to make a problem out of it. She could have, connected, been cool, not be friends with the girl, but at the same be cordial, and that may be the link that actually fizzles that whole drama out instead of sticking a flag and starting drama or continuing something that like Elle just said could be dead and buried in her friends' eyes. That's why I was like, I felt where she was coming from, but you need way more information to see if that's even as accurate, because when things clash, she didn't really have anything to say, so we didn't learn anything from them arguing. So I was like, maybe they're arguing about nothing more than anything else.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so I'm gonna have to play devil's advocate. I completely understand where Bambi is coming from. I mean, especially if it is his close friend, regardless, when your friend hurts, you hurt. And yes, it's not her situation. Yes, she should probably let it go, but at the same time, my loyalty is with someone, period. If my friend, well, I don't even want to say that. I don't want to say my friend doesn't mess with you. I don't, because I'm not that type of person, but I feel my friend's pain. So I'm going to hold my friend down, but I'm not going to go all out like how Bambi is. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of like torn in between. Like, I understand where she's coming from, but at the same time, it's just like, girl, you're going so hard for somebody who is not your man, ultimately. Like, the relationship is over, but I'm back and forth. My point overall is she's not, I get where she's coming from. Like, I get it as a friend. I would be the same way, but I wouldn't put so much pressure on it as much as Bambi has done.
Yeah, I think that was the main problem. I feel like there's like always a balance to things. And I feel like if you tip over too extreme on one side, then it just makes you look bad. I feel like if she would have been like, it's okay to, have that loyalty to a friend where you're not gonna mess with someone. But I feel like when you tip over to like antagonizing a person, then that does you more bad than good, because now you put yourself in a predicament where everybody is looking at you in a certain way because you just want to, for the sake of being with the shits. Like, it just doesn't look,
for the sake of being with the shit.
Yeah. And then, I mean, we're adults, so like at a certain age, you gotta just drop that. Yes, that can be an option of a choice of a stance, and again, it goes back to, that's a good quality friend when you're in high school and middle school. That's where that energy and extra, I'm standing and just shooting off. But once you're like in the business and you really, her and Scrap may not stay together forever, and the last thing you want is all of his friends to be your enemies and my friends to be, switching sides like that. So in order to just level out and be able to be conscious enough to hopefully mend that fence, if anything, would have been a better possibility, rather than just fight with a chick who don't even know you. She don't even got no.
Who don't even know you
because you disrespected her.
But see, I don't feel like it's high school. Like, okay, I feel like her approach of how she's going about it may be childish, but I feel like she does have a very valid point in reasoning. And like I said, as a friend, she just feels like that she is obligated to be loyal to her friend. But she doesn't have to keep going around saying, oh no, I don't mess with her. Oh no, she did this, she did that. When, oh my God, I don't know if you guys saw, and I wanted to bring this up, but I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter, people were really actually going in on Bambi, because remember when Bambi was low-key first introduced to Love and Hip Hop, she was all on Benzino in the hot tub, and it was like this whole thing. So I wanted to ask you guys that. Do you think she is in a way a hypocrite? Like, or she has this argument, but in a way she's kind of been in the same predicament if what she's saying about LightskinkKeisha is true.
Well, yeah. I was just laughing because she did call her a hood squirrel, and
she did. But she told her to go get her gum sticks. That was hilarious. I like LightskinkKeisha, so I was really, that was funny.
Yeah, I like her too. That's the thing. So I don't know how I feel about this whole situation, because I like Bambi too. I feel like she has her moments, but Love and Hip Hop has put her in a way where she can be more so in the forefront, because in the past seasons, like, we've been saying before, Bambi has kind of been that pacifist because she was pregnant, going through, that type of storyline, like the wholesome storyline to Love and Hip Hop. But now, they want to just push her back in, the ratchet brawling, like, so, I mean.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I do think she needs to let up on LightSkinKeisha, but at the same time, I don't know. I feel you. Like, it's like, in a way, it kind of feels like this is her storyline. Like, this is her finally being a bigger piece of the picture for Love and Hip Hop. But I wanted to also talk about Chicana and how she has joined into this whole thing. Okay, so I love Chicana. First of all, I was a fan of Chicana when she was on T.I. and Tiny Family Hustle, the whole falling off the bike scene with Tiny. I love Chicana. So I'm happy to see her like expanding and branching out away from, their family, even though I love T.I. and their family also. But do you think Chicana was messy for going out of her way to? First of all, this is the opening of his club. Why would she bring it there? What was your opinions on that? Like, why would she invite them without giving people a heads up and all of that?
That's a forced storyline to me. I felt like a real friend, one, as soon as you hear some beef, you don't put the two people together in an awkward situation. Two, you don't mediate a situation by yelling at people and hyping it up. It was the weirdest.
But we know how Chicana is.
Be quiet.
We know how she is, though. That's your part.
That shit was crazy. It was crazy.
Chicana should have been peeped that. That was
I think it was crazy,
and I feel like Bambi was more of a victim because who responds well in that situation? She had no.
Well, no. If anything, LightSkinKeisha was more of a victim because she told Bambi that like they were coming to talk to LightSkinKeisha. I don't think LightSkinKeisha knew that she was coming.
Bambi didn't know either.
No, she has Bambi during her little like green screen or whatever you call it when they say they on their own thing. She was like, yeah, Chicana hit me up saying that they wanted to talk. So if anything, LightSkinKeisha was blindsided when she came in.
That makes it even worse that she didn't have nothing to say.
She had no valid points. That's what I'm saying. It kind of made her come off as looking bad in front of everybody because all she was saying is, well, my friend said this, my friend, and your friend not even there.
So, right. We need to meet this friend. Who is the friend? That's what we need to know. Who is the friend? But speaking of friends, Alfie, can you let them know how they can stay friendly with us on our network?
That's right. We appreciate y'all staying down with the team during this quarantine. We like all those 5 stars, comments. We read them. We just in the house kicking it, staying journalistically sharp and loving on the shows that y'all love. You are the reason why we are the ESPNs of TV Talk. Hello.
Yes, we love you guys so much. Thank you, Alfie. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about Rasheeda and her mom and Kirk. Okay, first of all, Rasheeda, it's apparently Miss Shirlene and Rasheeda, they're having beef about the store that they opened up in Houston, and apparently Rasheeda's mom is selling clothes, for plus size women in the store. And they recently, on this episode, they met up at Scrappy's 35th birthday party, and Mama D was giving her all the tea, giving Rasheeda all the tea about how she knew what is going on behind the scenes. And Kirk, in a way, accused her of letting their business go down in shambles. Do you think that was too far? We know Kirk and Shirlene and the whole family, they've had drama from day one. So how do you think, how did they handle that situation? Like, was Shirlene wrong, do you guys think, for getting Mama D in the mix? And was Kirk, in a way, wrong for calling her out and accusing her of like just pretty much messing up the whole, business of the store in Houston?
I don't know.
Alfie, you can go.
Okay, I'll go. First off, just for this particular family, it was a bad idea. I do believe in family business and, it working out, I believe in that whole, I'm from the South, I'm from Miami. So it's one of those things where I see what the try was, but for their history and how the mom and Kirk clash. It was meant to be y'all take care of all the fly stuff. But I see why they want to keep their brand, or it's your business. So Kirk's not wrong on anything he says because that's their joint. And if it's your joint and you see things that you don't care if it's just a little dust on the wall. If you don't like the dust on the wall and they keep putting dust on your wall, you can fire people. That's why you are the boss and you own stuff. But at the same time, and how I believe they should have did was like just figure out how they could work unanimously together, because all the money is good money going to the family. So why not let your brand be a covenant for her brand to like flourish or whatever. So that's the way I was on the mom side. And I mean, at least her and Mama D are getting along. So I don't care. At that point, I'd rather them be on a good page and be teaming than be old ladies fighting. So in the sense of bringing wisdom and Mama D being somebody who is all about family, that's why that energy is good for them to consider. But even if they don't go with that, at least they're talking it out, having little tidbits, but not making it like detrimental to the family. But it's just either work together or not.
Hey.
Yeah, that's me.
Elgin, you ain't got nothing to say.
I do. And that sounded so good because I'm really about to be shady right now. I'm just letting y'all know that right now.
Be shady. We need the shade because what Alfie said was a bunch of hopes and dreams.
Right. So,
well, damn. True.
So
I'm just like,
I live in
if
cloud,
you remember a couple episodes back, they had this other family business, the Hot Bistro, or what is it called? The Frost Bistro. Yeah. And you saw they had problems there. Everybody kind of just running around, not really doing anything. So I feel like for them.
Well, this was just the last episode. They still have the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I feel like for certain families, I'm not saying this for everybody because I am a believer in generational wealth in families. I feel like that's something that is important. But I feel like if you can't have a lock on it at that moment, then you have to bring some external force outside to help curate that. Because I feel like sometimes these people start businesses and they don't have that business knowledge how things should go in order. So I feel like when you bring somebody from the outside to help curate that, it goes way better. So I felt like their situation might need a little bit of help. And I felt like it's even worse that it was displayed on TV because you have other families that's out here. It just doesn't look good on the community when you have, people out here saying like this business is bad. And it makes people not even want to go to your stores and stuff like that. So
yeah, well, I don't know. Their business, I've been to the press store and it's always booming. I have the restaurant, but I think, and I think people like to go because of Love and Hip Hop and the drama and all of that. But I don't know. I agree to your point, Alfie, when you were saying like that's kind of that's Kirk's job to kind of be on top of it. And even I don't know, I think I was more so kind of just like I was kind of taken back at the thought of Kirk feeling like Rasheeda's mom would genuinely try to ruin the business because of her not getting her way. So
that's a stretch
for him to kind of go behind but I mean, it was like facts are facts though. He presented us with the statistics or whatever you want to call it. He was just like, look, when she was there, our sales was down. When I had somebody come, it went up like 80%. So I don't know. I think it's one of those things where they need to hash it out before they really let it affect the business. Like, even though, it's Rasheeda's and Kirk, ultimately her mom has been a heavy hand in the business for a long time now. So I feel like they should work something out to where she should have her own like line or something in the store. I don't know. I think that'll be
store
cool
next to the
people
store.
Are fans of people are fans of her just as much as they are of Rasheeda. So I don't know. That's just my little 2 cents on the whole situation. But I really hope that they can come together. That's why I don't know. Do you guys think families can work together? Do you think it's possible to have a family business when you see people like this deal with things like crazy?
Kinda. I feel like it just depends on, it's a chemistry thing. It's the person, individuals themselves, whether they're responsible enough or, have the savvy to play whatever role you decide they should do. But it also could be they just been through so much, with the history of the scandals that they've had to, overcome. not to just dive always and beat a dead horse. It's one of those things where if you've been abused in some kind of way, or there's been trauma, sometimes people can't get over it, or there's always going to be an element of them twisting. If you were somebody else, they wouldn't react that way. But because this is Kirk, and her mom knows exactly what Kirk done did, and yeah, she may have forgiven him and they still family, there's still going to be holds onto personal things that she may never let go. And that's why she may be dragging her feet at the job, or all these other things that always will play in to his mind and her mind at any given time, based on the fact that was such a deeply rooted real thing. So it's a maybe, but for this one, I wouldn't try so much. I would give them something that they could hover around, but not necessarily be like invested in we're a team together thing. And I think that may work better. You know, maybe she could start doing shoes instead of, you know, clothes, and be like,
so
okay,
everybody needs to just find their own hustle, their own thing, so it won't be a mess.
Just a little bit more territory. They can't be selling the same stuff, because then it's competition. Then her business goes great. Then she talking crap. Now only, and I'm doing better than you. And he's making sure that won't happen, probably deep down, only because her mama roll over his stuff with the car that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny.
Oh gosh, the car.
That was funny, but that's stuff you can't forget.
Right.
Speaking of rolling over, let's just roll over to more drama between Karlie and Sierra. Okay, so last week we were left with a good head mush. We had fights, we had hair pulling, whatever you want to call it. And now this episode, Sierra at this point she's in fear for her life. She thinks she's gonna go behind bars, and now she's regretting what she did at the party, as she should have been regretting it, because now not only is she up against the charges against her baby's daddy's baby mama, she's also she could possibly be up against charges from Karlie for fighting. And one, let's talk about how she got cleared. So she reached out to Rasheeda to meet with her about just meeting with the lawyer, because the lawyer had footage that she wanted to show, and ultimately she was cleared. The video showed that she did not hit the baby mama. How do you guys just feel about that whole situation? I mean, she really broke down, and from the start, did you believe her innocence, or did you think that she was going to get caught up? Elgin, let us know.
I mean, yeah, you can kind of tell these things because, you know, loving hip hop films prior to a lot of things. So you kind of can already tell that she wasn't going to go to jail. But I kind of felt, you know, her stress, you know, in that opening scene where she got out of bed and miraculously she had makeup on her face and she was just
right with the surfboard,
like looking just glorious out of nowhere. I wish I could do that, but I felt that stress. You know, she looked like she was tired, and then you know she was in the middle of doing that person's eyebrows or whatever, and she was looking stressed then too. I'm like, yeah. So to see that she was able to finally be clear, that was good. And also, you know, she's a mother. That's the first thing that she is before anything. So it was glad that I was happy that she wasn't, you know, being taken away from her kids. I feel like never mind, I ain't even gonna do that. But yeah, I'm happy.
No, go there. What you gotta say?
Nah, I'm good. I'm happy that she has her freedom.
Yeah, I was on the same page. I was super happy, but at the same time, it brings up the situation, man, when you got court cases and stuff that have to do with assault. You gotta be on your super P's and Q's when you're moving around, going places.
You can't put yourself in situations like that.
Yeah, but it's even more like it was her sister and the assistant that jumped in there, and that's people that she need to sit aside and be like, look, man, I'm already in a situation. You can't be doing that. Or, you know, it really only got turned up because they decided to be the ride or dies that people want to be there. But at certain times, you got to be above that and be like adult about, like, I could go to real jail. I could have 2 assault cases at the same time. And, you know, all that stuff could have really gone left. It just so happened to, you know, pan out for her. But those kind of stresses are like real. And that can be at any stage of your life. If you got like, I got to go to court because of some assault stuff, the last thing you need is to have another, that's like getting a DUI, having to go to court for that DUI and then get another DUI before you go to court. So it's like, you can't keep adding crap in your life because She got lucky.
Yeah.
If that could have ended up a lot of years based off of,
It
and
could have
you got
been
another
worse.
assault charge while you were in the
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So now that she is in the clear, now she feels like she has to do everything she can so that she won't be put in another predicament like what she just got out of. And she invites Karlie, to church to make the amends, and they have this talk. And long story short, Karlie is just like, I don't know if I can trust you. You have not been there for me from day one. And then you fight me. I feel like it was a setup. I feel like you purposely wanted everybody to jump me, and they pretty much left not on good terms. Now with the situation, I want to know, because Karlie kind of has a point. It's just like, do you genuinely care about our friendship, or are you just scared that I'm going to take you to court and your life is on the line once again? What do you think, Alfie? Do you think that she both of them?
I'm gonna put the FF on the both.
Both
And that's
of them.
human nature. You get out of here. What? You want me to lie to you? The real is, yeah, man, I don't want to go to jail. Yeah. But I also
do you think it was any
respecting
sincerity
you enough to
within
come
it?
and apologize, huh?
Do you think it was any sincerity in it? Like, do you think she really
Yeah,
misses their
she
friendship and wants
sincerely
them to be
both.
friends, or was it ultimately just so she doesn't go to jail again?
I think it's sincerely both. Like, if I messed up something terrible and I didn't want to go to jail, I wouldn't lie and be like, oh no, this isn't about the jail thing. We just ride or die. No, I'd be like, nah, I'm being man enough and saying that I'm scared. I don't want to go to jail. But also, I'm sorry. And I don't want to deal with this with you. You're my friend. We're going through stuff. And whether we stay friends or not, please don't add no drama to my life, because then I will have to deal with that.
Yeah,
I think, and that's
see,
okay, because that's true. She'd be
yeah,
lying if she didn't do that.
yeah, she
That's just
would.
facts.
But
If you
also,
have a gun to
okay,
your face, you'd be like, "Don't shoot me." It's about the gun in your face, just as everything else.
you're right. It was that situation. I feel like, though, in a way, it's kind of just like Karlie had a point, but in a way, Sierra should be questioning Karlie too, because if we are friends like you are, well, I don't know, all lines were crossed, because if they were friends like they were, Sierra should not have hit Karlie in the head, and
Yeah.
Karlie, I don't know.
Was
I just
trying
kind
to
of feel
fight,
like
so it wasn't like she was standing there being a victim. It was a
right,
fight.
but I feel like for Karlie also, it's kind of just like you were so quick to press charges on someone who was your friend. So do you think that I don't know, it's like, okay, I'm going back and forth in this in my mind. I'm sorry. Let me try to fully articulate what I'm trying to say.
There's
So
stuff on
what
both
I'm
sides.
saying
Right.
is, in a way, I get why Karlie pressed charges, but at the same time, do you kind of think it's a contradiction of what, she did too? Like, you're pressing charges on your supposed to be friend, but you're also mad that you're supposed to be friend. It's just a mess. I don't know. Somebody help me filter this out. Do you think she was wrong for deciding to press charges if she does do it? Elgin.
I don't know. I just know if someone mushed me in the face and I can't get to them, I might have to just go ahead and press charges. But no, I'm playing.
You're serious.
I am. Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
But I feel like she would have. I feel like, yeah, I'm in that same thing. It's both sides. I don't know. I feel like she wouldn't be wrong. Yeah, they're both wrong.
Yeah,
but I feel like Karlie pressed charges. She wouldn't be wrong either, because you got mushed in the face and y'all supposed to be friends. Like, if I'm friends with someone, like she said, right, like that's even worse than getting hit, first of all. Like, you might as well just sock, don't push me.
You saw how surprised she was when her hair was being pulled. She was like, what is going on right now? Just being drugged back by this. I was like, she don't even know she's getting jumped right now.
Oh, that was so sad. I don't know. I guess I tried to give Sierra a reasoning of why Karlie was wrong for pressing charges, but ultimately Karlie had a right to press charges. That's what I was trying to figure out during that whole little rant. Like, who was in the wrong? But Sierra low-key was still in the wrong. But how do you feel about her pulling up to the church house? Like, first of all,
that's how you gotta go.
Let's be clear.
The only thing that may stop is Jesus.
The only thing, but this season, they've had some unique ways of trying to squash beef. Like, I don't remember in Love and Hip Hop history them doing this. Like, for instance, Karlie inviting, maybe it's a Karlie and Sierra thing, but Karlie inviting Alexis Sky to the boxing ring, like, just in case they did have to fight, it was at a boxing ring. And then Sierra bringing her to church, like, God is here, he's watching, he's forgiving me, and I need you to forgive me too. Like, the way they're setting this up this season is hilarious.
I
I
almost
don't
said
know.
something shady, but I ain't even gonna do that tonight.
No, you need to stop holding back the shadiness. The people want to hear it.
Yeah. Just don't. I don't know what these people do in their outside life. They go to church, but I feel like this was just a run to Jesus real quick. And then, after all this moved down, she gonna be done. Like she gonna be like,
She
church
gonna
who?
be done with Jesus.
But
how you gonna drop Jesus?
To the next fight.
Right, but that's funny. There's been a lot of instances this season where they just had weird ways of just doing scenes. Like one, it was a funeral, and
Karlie.
now it's church.
Yeah, maybe it's Sierra and Karlie. They just come up with these unique ways to express their feelings, and I guess there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know. But either way, like I said, they didn't. It doesn't look like they mended it. They apologized, but I don't know if we'll see a Sierra and Karlie friendship in the near future. I think it also we talked about this. It's okay, right. But I think this also lies back to what we talked about last week. It's just a lack of communication. They have not talked to each other. Like, Sierra has been so caught up in her own drama with her court case that she doesn't realize that Karlie is dealing with a divorce and she's dealing with someone who was this, and this. And then Karlie is so caught up in her divorce that she's not realizing how much this is taking a toll on Sierra. So ultimately, they talked, but they need to just really dig deeper. They only were surface based with the argument and the fight. They need to just talk about, okay, what brought us to this point? I need to be that mediator. Sierra and Karlie call me. Huh?
Are they actually friends then?
No, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes I feel like with your friendships, you've never kind of just lost that, you just lost that communication factor, and it just takes somebody to say, okay, look, we need to get to the root of what was going on. Like, I feel like they are friends. They just kind of have lost touch, and they just have to find some way to bring it back.
Yeah,
sometimes
that's why I'm scared.
Things need to be let go, in the sense of it got to the point where it could have gone legal. I think those are the people you don't need to necessarily hover around or give enough time to where that's not a possibility. But if somebody, when the stuff hits the fan, is going to go to the cops or go to something like that, that is not somebody you need in your life if you a quote unquote real one and get down and busy when stuff hits the fan. That's exactly who will have you behind bars or snitching on you or some other crap. And you're just not going to be able to depend on them on some real homie to homie stuff. And I ain't with that.
Well, with that being said,
say good evening, but that'd be about it.
We see how the guys feel. I'm over here like the compassionate one. Like, they just need to talk it out. They need to work it out because you know what? It can come together. And I still believe that it can come together. Honestly, they're going to be friends by the end of the season. Let's record. Let's see, how they work it out. But overall, it was a lot this episode, but I feel like there's more to come. Let's go ahead and just get into some news and gossip. Elgin, what do you have for us?
Yeah, well, there's not much of gossip because no one's outside because of the Rona, but we do have virtual news. VH1 has started this special called Alone Together, which if that's an oxymoron, I don't really know. But they have the special Alone Together. Alone and together. Yeah, I don't know.
That's when you with somebody but you ain't messing with that person.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a while since I did English, but they had this special called Alone Together, and it's just basically in between commercial breaks and stuff. People in the Love and Hip Hop cast are basically giving out advice during the corona because I guess they have PhDs in medicine, but they're doing quick advice tips on how to stay safe and stay home. So
what? I think I saw that. I saw Mimi had did one too. Yeah, well, I'm happy that they're doing that. And I'm happy that even though they are feisty and ratchet, they still have a platform to spread goodness. And hopefully their fans who are also maybe like them will be able to abide by the rules that we need to abide by as a nation. So yeah, with that being said, let's get into our special segment. So it's still kind of in the air, but we're just gonna talk about who brought it this episode. So who this episode did you think hands down held their ground, held their own, and made the episode what it was. Alfie, you go first.
Well, then I got two because I got an honorable mention.
You be taking all the good ones. I should have told you to go last.
Wait, honorable mention is Kirk because he stood his foot firmly in the situation with the mom, but he was still, respectful and let her get her opinion off, and it didn't blow up. I think that was a sense of power and control that comes with wisdom. I guess
okay, that was good.
Really...
No, because you're gonna say somebody else.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, then fine. I'll keep it at Kirk.
No, I just played. Who do you think, OG?
Well, go ahead.
I think I hate to say it, and we hate to see it, but I'm gonna give it to Karlie this episode, just because she kind of held the power in this episode.
She did
over Sierra, and the whole episode kind of revolved around her in a sense. We had like a couple different scenes, but when she said, "My best friend is Karma, and she gonna bite your ass," I said, "You know what? I'm gonna use that line. I wrote that line down."
This is why she be getting jumped though. Saying stuff like that is what gets you jumped. That she being that person, when a person trying to apologize and you still want to do little stabs on the way out, be like, "Man, I said sorry at church. Now I want to hurt you."
Now, right.
Right outside
That's
the
hilarious.
house of the Lord.
Okay. I think my girl LightSkinKeisha held her own, period. She is not letting Bambi walk all over her. She held her own at the thing. And what she say? She was like, if you come at me 10 times, I'm gonna come 20 times harder. I was like, oh, okay. So yes, I love LightSkinKeisha. She's just letting her know, period, like this is my man now, and you need to just let go of the beef, and I'm still gonna be here. So shout out to LightSkinKeisha, shout out to Karlie Redd, and shout out to Kirk, and shout out to you guys for staying in this thing with me so we can break down this episode. Do we have any predictions for next week?
Kirk and Rasheeda gonna figure out things with the mama. I definitely think Mama D crazy self with Bambi's mom is just on another level.
Oh my
she
God,
is high
that's
class
crazy.
Crazy.
Crazy. What do you think, Elgin?
I feel like Tommy's gonna come out of nowhere and beat some people up. Tommy.
It's a big cast in this show. There's like 1 million characters.
There is.
Like it's like a Marvel Avengers version of a reality TV show.
Yeah. And I feel like LightSkinKeisha go get pregnant too. And that's all.
Oh, interesting. I think that Mama D and Cece are about to go at it, like you said, because she was real wild about that funeral thing, and she had the whole bulletin, all of that. That was crazy. And I feel like LightSkinKeisha's boyfriend's ex-girlfriend is gonna pop up, and it's about to be some drama through there, and we're probably gonna figure out what really went down, and maybe the boyfriend wasn't as innocent as they're making it seem, or maybe LightSkinKeisha wasn't, but it's about to be some mess either way. But
we're here for it.
I'm here for it too. I think next week is gonna give us that spice that we need, because we waiting for it to get a little more juicier. So hopefully we get that next week. But as we wrap up, where can we find you guys on social media? Go ahead,
you can
Alfie.
find me at Alfred Nolan Thomas #2 on social media platforms. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm only on the Instagram. Elgin _22.
Well, you know what? You're gonna get a bunch of followers just because you're on one platform, easy to find. There you go. You guys can find me on Instagram at Tyra Prude Official, and you can find me on Twitter at Tyra Prude. And then, of course, make sure you check out the Love and Hip Hop News Weekly that I give every week if you're just so in love with Love and Hip Hop. But in the meantime, we will see you guys next week. Stay safe, stay home, wash your hands, and be next week. Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.